In this video, I will show you how to clip the area water and the linear water to the future land use boundary, and then another special case of how we will clip the rails. Because for this assignment, we just want data pertaining to the meridian city boundaries, so we don't want any of this extra layer data outside of that area. So to do this, let's first start. We're going to the geoprocessing, and we can type in clip, which is already there, and we want to use the clip analysis tool. And so for the input, and if you're unsure which order to put things in, you can click on the little information, and so this is the feature that will be clipped. So let's do the linear water, and this thing will be which layer is going to be used to clip, and that will be the future land use. So we'll select that. Then it's going to say the output. So where is this going to be stored? And now if you can kind of look here, it's kind of abbreviated. You can use the cursor and go back this way. But it's in my folder. And you'll notice here that it's going to go to the Meridian Future Land Use.gdb. And GDB stands for geodatabase. And then this is the generic name that it's going to give this new feature class that we export out. We don't want that because that's not very informative. So we will just highlight that up to the backslash. If you highlight the whole thing, then it won't work. So you just gotta make sure you do that. So let's call this, and what was this? So let's call this rivers. And so now the output's gonna be rivers, and we will click run. We get the little message. So then here we have our new layer rivers, and if we remove this layer here, you notice how they're clipped there. So we can then remove the linear water from our layer. Then if we go back, we can go to clip again, and let's do area water. So we go area water. The feature that's to be clipped will be the land use. And let's call this, since it's going to the same place, let's call this lakes, I guess would be a good word. And there's our area water that's going to clip all that. And if we click run, we now have, if we turn this off, we just have the little lakes in there. So we can then go and remove this from our table of contents. So now you have rivers and lakes. So the rails is going to be, well, let's back up here. So if we look at our catalog now, and we go to our geodatabase, open that up, notice here in our geodatabase we now have our lakes and rivers. Notice here this is our original data. Notice how this icon is gray, and these icons are green. Green indicates that it's a shapefile. You can also see that by the .shp. And the gray signifies that these are feature classes. So the next thing we want to do is the roads. Now the road's a little tricky if we zoom in, because this is boundary here, but there really isn't a boundary over here for it to clip to. So what we're going to do instead is go to edit, and then we're going to use the, let's see, if we modify, maybe we want to do split, and if we zoom in here, we can just get close enough there, click that, and notice how it's highlighted there. Then if we go to the map here, we can zoom there. Still extends beyond there, so we want to make sure we go back to edit and then modify. Then we're going to split. We can zoom in. And I guess the question is, do we want to split it here or out here, since it's kind of still part of the meridian area. We'll just kind of do there. And so then we split that. So if we clear the selection, We can go to map, and then we can click on select. What's going on? Zoom out here. Zoom over. Got that. So then we want to come over using the split tool and then kind of just roughly kind of get to the end and then click on that. And then we'll kind of save our edits. Save all edits. So then if we zoom out, go to the map, zoom out, and we kind of use our select, and we zoom out. We now have our rail, and we just want this rail here. So what we will do is, we will, and since we're looking on the rail, we'll right click on the rails, and we'll go data, export, and now we're going to export this. And again, where is this going to be exported to? The Meridian Future Land Use GDB, and we'll call this railroads. So then we got railroads, okay, and now we have railroads. We can clear our selection, and we can remove that layer. We have our roads. Oh, what's going on with my computer here? Remove that. So now let's save our project. Can zoom out. And now we have all our data clipped to the area. So let's do one more thing. Let's take the Meridian Transportation Center lines and the Future Land Use shapefile, and let's export those to our geodatabase. So if we just right click on this, data, export, and that's the layer. So this is, again, check where this is going. If we go over here, we notice it's going to the geodatabase, but let's just call this roads. So now we're going to be roads. It's going to our geodatabase, and we can click OK. And you notice in our geodatabase, now it's roads, so we can get rid of this. And then we'll do the same thing for the Meridian, and we'll call this export. And we know it's going to the right spot, geodatabase. Let's call this future land use. Remember, we don't want to have any spaces in the file names. So before I used the underscores, here we're just using the camel. And we can click OK. Again, future land use is added in there. So then we can remove this. And now we have all the layers that we need. They're all contained in this geodatabase, and we don't need to access any of these shape files anymore in here.